Good evening, vintage hi-fi fans. Now tonight I'm just going to have a little run through with these three, two receivers and one amplifier. Just have a little talk about these three because I think these three are quite good ones if you're starting out getting into vintage, because they are all quite common, these three. Nothing here is really rare, so you'd be able to get parts for all this lot if they go wrong. And that top one there, that is a ROTEL RA310. Now that's the oldest one here. That is from, well, it was first made, that one, in 1970. And that one is just an amplifier. So underneath it, you got a SANSUI. Now that is a SANSUI 310. Now that one is a receiver because it has got the radio on it. And that one was first produced in 1972. And then underneath it at the bottom, we have a real vintage classic, the Pioneer SX434. Now that is another receiver with the radio on it, and that was first made in 1974. And that is probably the most expensive one here, because people love these old Pioneers, so they do command a little bit more money. So let's turn it on and we'll have a look at it with it lit up. So there, when you turn it on, you can see why people go after these receivers, because they just look so good when all the front is lit up. They really have got a good look to them. So let's turn on the SANSUI, and this one's got a good look to it as well. Look at that SANSUI, it looks lovely, that SANSUI. Now the little ROTEL on the top, it's only got one light on it when you turn it on, so it hasn't got the same look as the receivers, but it has still got a really good vintage look to it. I like the look of that ROTEL. It just looks like a really good vintage amplifier. And they are all exactly the same power, these three. They are all 15 watts into 8 ohms. But don't be put off by that. If you've got a nice sensitive set of speakers, that 15 watts, trust me, it is loud enough. You really won't be there thinking, oh, I need more power. You just won't. As long as you've got a nice set of sensitive speakers. Now what I mean by that is some speakers need a load of power to drive them, and some speakers really don't. So I'm just going to show you this here, because some of you might have seen it in my other videos. In that box there is my Christmas present from my missus. So I don't know what it is, but I think it might be a nice big amplifier. It feels really heavy, and it turned up the other day, but I am not allowed to open it until Christmas, which is only a few weeks away. So I'm looking forward to unwrapping that one, because if it's my Christmas present, I bet inside that box is something really nice. And it feels really, really heavy. It does honestly weigh a ton, whatever is in that box, and that box is massive. So if that box has got an amplifier in it, it is going to have a big beast of a bit of a monster amp inside there, because it is so heavy. But I'm not 100% sure it is an amplifier. I don't know this, but I am assuming a little bit. Because of the shape of the box and how heavy it is, I do think it's a big beast of an amplifier. So, enough of my Christmas present. Let's get back to these three. Now, why am I saying that these three are a good way to go if you're looking to get into vintage? Now, I'm saying that because all three of these are from a well-respected company. They are good quality receivers and a good quality amplifier. ROTEL, SANSUI and Pioneer are all well-respected, well-made things. And because these three, there is quite a lot of them out there. Like I said, none of these are rare, so you would get parts for these easy enough. Like the SANSUI, I bought that with knobs and that missing, and when I was looking at parts and that for it, there is quite a lot of parts for that on there. Same with this Pioneer. I didn't need no parts for this Pioneer, but it's a little baby Pioneer. There will be a load of parts out there for this. So if something goes wrong and you need a part for it, you'll easy get it. Whereas some of the other receivers that are a bit rarer, if something goes wrong, it could be the end of it for ages because you just won't be able to get the part for it. And if you've only got one receiver, that's no good. If it's not working for a year while you're hunting down a part, you can't listen to it. It's different if you've got 4 or 5 receivers, then if one goes wrong, you don't need to use it and you can hunt down a part for it. But if it's going to be your only one, it's worth thinking about that and thinking I'll get something that is easy to get parts for, and then if it goes wrong, it's only out of action for like a couple of weeks, maybe a month, and you can easily find the part for it and get your music back going again. Now I'm saying that because a lot of these old receivers and amplifiers, remember they are 50 years old or older, so they do go wrong. Not all of them, but a lot of them do. It's like an old car or something. You might get an old car that is really reliable. It starts every time. It is always good as gold. But then you will get another old car the same, and that one is a pig. It never wants to start. It never wants to go. These receivers are like that. You could have one that will go good as gold forever. There probably is a load of receivers out there and amplifiers 50 years old that have never even been serviced and are still going strong. But there is also a lot of them out there that go wrong quite often. So you need to sort of think like that. If you're going to buy yourself something vintage, you need to be prepared that it might go wrong. I'm not saying it will go wrong. Let's put it another way. Say like 10 people watch this and you all go and buy a vintage Sansui 310. Now I bet 7 of you will get one that works like a good one and goes for years and years, and you'll be happy as Larry with it. But the other 3 of you will get one that keeps going wrong, and you will wish you had bought something else. It's just the way it is with these old vintage electronics. Some of them just go wrong a lot, and some of them last forever. It's just the luck of the draw when you buy one. So the next reason why I'm saying that these 3 are quite good buys if you're just starting out in the world of vintage is because all 3 of these are really good quality receivers and amplifier. They just are. I've been through these 3, servicing them, been inside them and that. They are well put together. They are quality engineered bits of kit. So for the money you can get these 3 for, they are kind of worth their money because these 3 are sort of like affordable from these 3 companies, because they are like lower down in the range. Now that doesn't mean they're any less quality built than the bigger ones. They're not. These ones are really well made. But because they are like the lower models in the ranges, they don't make the money like the big ones do. So that is why I'm saying these are good ones to start with. And I would say these are quite safe investments at the minute. Like if you spent your money on one of these 3, then if you wanted to sell it on, because these companies are so sought after, you would get your money back for it. So these kind of are a bit of a safe bet when you're buying the vintage. You will get your money back on one of these should you want to sell it on. And you might even find with these three that this time next year they have gone right up in price and you made a really good investment buying one of these. Because over the last 5 or 10 years, these receivers and amplifiers, the prices have rocketed on them. And say like 5 years ago or something like that, the prices was rocketing on the bigger ones. The bigger ones was going up and up and up, the big powerful, big monster receivers and amplifiers. But now they're at such a high price that people aren't looking to buy them. The only people buying them are people with a load of money who are really into collecting them. The normal person starting out in vintage cannot afford one of them big vintage receivers or amplifiers. They're just too much money. But where them ones have gone to such a high price, it's dragging the prices up of all this smaller stuff because people can't afford that big stuff. So people are looking at this lower level stuff. So I can only see the prices on this lower level stuff going up and up and up like the bigger stuff has because people want this smaller stuff now because it is like the only way to get your hands on the vintage gear. You can't afford that big stuff no more. Like I've had tons of them big monster amplifiers and receivers and that because years ago no one really wanted them. And all right, you weren't getting them for nothing, but you weren't paying much money for them because people didn't want them. But now, very few people are buying them big uns because they're too much money. They're ridiculous, some of them. But something like these three are still quite reasonably priced, really, compared to the other stuff that's out there. Something like this is quite affordable and you're still getting that good vintage sound. Now, I wouldn't be saying these three are good buys if they didn't sound no good. All three of these are really nice sounding. They are good receivers and amplifiers. All these three sound very different, although they are all exactly the same power at 15 watts per channel. All three of these sound different. They have all got a good vintage sound to them, but they have all got their own characteristics. And if you're like starting out in vintage and you bought one of these three, you would like the sound of each of these ones. They are all good sounding, and I've been really enjoying listening to all three of these. I like all of them. All of these are really good sounding receivers. And don't be put off by that 15 watts per channel because that is old fashioned watts, and with the right speakers that really is loud enough. It's not if you've got speakers that need a ton of power to drive them, then one of these probably is no good. But if you've got speakers that don't need much power to drive them, then 15 watts of old-fashioned wattage is more than enough power for the normal person. And what you do find with these little low-powered receivers and amplifiers, sometimes at normal listening volumes, they actually sound nicer and have more detail than some of the big powerful amplifiers. They really do. So I like these low powered ones because you can get a really good detailed sound out of them for a lot less money than one of the big uns. Now, I'm not saying that these little low-powered ones are better than them big uns. Of course I'm not. We all love them big ones. We all want them big ones. But what I am saying is, these little ones are a really good way of getting you into vintage hi-fi without breaking the bank. So thank you for watching, and I shall see you next time.